talked about no deal, whether it's to be loved or feared. Well, the same really for the idea of a customs union. James in Maidenhead. James, could you learn to love it? Good morning.
Good morning. What I just want to say is I think we should definitely remain in the European Union. In 2016, I and 17.4 million other international trade experts voted to leave. That is actually 1.3 million more than voted to remain. That's about the population of Birmingham. And when I voted, I knew nothing about a customs union, and that's the fact for most of the people who voted leave.
You can't,
many people who voted leave
you
like
can't
me
say
did it because they wanted to stock it to David Cameron.
James, you can't say that for all of them. You don't know that. You said many. You said you don't know, James.
I didn't say it for all.
You said many. You don't know.
I said many. Yes, I think I can say many.
Sir, you
no one
don't
ever discussed customs unions.
Oh no, they did. Well, I remember it being.
They didn't.
I remember Nick Clegg. I remember Nick Clegg being on this show and talking about it more than once.
Talking about it now. They weren't talking about it 3 years ago.
They were. Nick Clegg was on this show. He told me about it on.
Nick Clegg might have been. The vast majority of people weren't.
Well, hang on. So now we've had many people did that. The vast majority of that. You speak for yourself, and I respect that. I absolutely respect you.
Nick,
but just because you now
have... The point is, look, I'm an intelligent person, and I do take a lot of interest in the news.
Yes.
And I never heard of a customs union.
Okay, but James, please.
How many people, Nick, can I ask you one question? How many people really at the time, or even now, know the difference between the single market and the customs union?
You can't answer these questions. I have absolutely no idea.
You can't. It's a rhetorical question, isn't it?
No one knows, but honestly, the fact that you, and I don't mean this nastily, but my goodness, well, hang on, let's go to Adam. Adam in Chepstow. Had you heard 3 years ago, I don't ask you for the intricacies of it, have you heard of something called a customs union nearly 3 years ago?
Yes, Nick, I'm an international trade and customs specialist advisor for a large accounting firm.
Well, that's a little unfair. Do you think that a percentage of the population, did you hear the expression customs union nearly 3?
I think it was quoted in the £9 million spent by the government on the leaflet, I believe.
James, let's bring you back in. It was even in the leaflet, James.
In the leaflet.
Oh, no, you can't scoff at that, Nick, my friend.
The vast majority of people voted, and in fact, I heard, who's the guy who used to be Tony Blair's right-hand man?
Alistair Campbell? Alistair Campbell?
Alistair Campbell, yeah. I heard him actually say on your programme that he's visited many northern constituencies, and people there have actually admitted to him they voted leave to sock it to David Cameron, the slimy, politically correct David Cameron.
Okay. Well, I know Alistair Campbell well. I don't know.
As valid as the other.
Adam, go ahead.
We must make clear here, we're talking about the customs union, not raking over the past. We must make clear the difference between a customs union and the customs union. There are some fundamental differences, Nick.
Go ahead, please. Please.
The customs union is a cornerstone of the EU.
Yes.
And it works alongside the single market. Without the single market, you still have to make customs entries, even in the customs union.
Right.
Under a customs union, which is what the EU has with Turkey currently, you still have to make customs declarations and prove the origin of the goods with an ATR form.
Right.
So it doesn't create frictionless trade. This is a misnomer. The other two issues with it are you have to set the common external tariff. So you're setting a 35% duty rate on orange juice in the UK to protect Spanish farmers.
Right.
That's ridiculous. We'll never grow oranges, Nick. Not even with the world, not even with climate change, and it's as bad as they all claim.
Right.
That won't happen. And the other problem for Turkey in a customs union is this. The EU has the rights to negotiate access to the Turkish market in bilateral trade agreements, such as with Korea, but Korea is not obliged to reciprocate that access for Turkish goods within that agreement.
Let's get James back. Adam, you're not going. James, do you recognise that there are distinctions then within a customs unions?
No, Nick, because your colleague, your caller there, is he? What's his credentials? Did I hear? I couldn't hear.
Hold. Okay.
Mob is right on this one.
Adam, what are your? Can I just, as your background, you mentioned, I think you are involved in trading. Is that right?
No, I work for one of the world's large accounting firms, Nick. I lead our UK customs practice. I've done this for 15 years.
James, that's his credentials.
Well, then he's not typical.
No, but let's take on what he says, though. No, let's say what he says about the customs union.
Yes, I understand that. Listen, Nick, look, please, look, what is your problem now? What is bad about life in Britain today? We've got almost full employment. We've got the roads jammed with 2-year-old cars. The restaurants in most places are packed. The areas that are suffering to a certain are mainly suffering because of the lack of investment by Westminster.
People are stabbing each other.
And HS2 is a typical example of London-centric investment.
Right. People are stabbing each other. I'm not particularly happy with that.
It's not the EU's fault.
No, I didn't say it was.
I know, but the EU has become a proxy villain.
What?
The EU is a proxy villain.
Let's bring Adam. Adam, go ahead. Adam, go ahead.
The reality is, Nick, is that we have a disconnect. We tasted direct democracy and we quite liked it, but that's unfortunately now clashing with a parliamentary democracy, and that's a hurdle I don't know how we quite overcome. But the fear of a no deal from a trade perspective, I'd say if you're an importer, that it's looking pretty good for you. I think if you're an exporter of food or cars to the EU, things are more difficult.
Let's leave it there. James, I respect your position. Adam, I respect your position.